How's this for a potential bombshell? A report from Real Clear Investigations claims that Justice Department IG Michael Horowitz is about to issue his investigative finding that former FBI Director Jim Comey was, quote, running a covert op against the president, starting with a private defensive briefing he gave Trump just weeks before his inauguration. The piece also notes that Comey had an agent inside the White House who reported back to FBI headquarters about Trump and his aides, according to other officials familiar with the matter. Here to react to this bombshell and a lot more, Chairman of the House Senate Judiciary Committee, Lindsey Graham. Senator, should Comey face charges? If this is true, this is, wow.
Well, not based on a newspaper article, but if he did subvert justice, if he did lie to the FISA court, then he's not above the law. Did he actually take the law in his own hands? The question is, when it came to Trump, did they take the law in their own hands?
Well, they felt it was their duty. It seemed like. I mean, he was hiding behind the curtains at one time. Yeah, very imperious. He has a very imperious quality, doesn't he?
Well, you know, jumping in the presidential election twice was his duty.
Right. Well, right now, this is hot with Mueller's testimony on Wednesday. The Democrats think they're going to get another bite at the apple, and you say?
Yeah, I think the apple is done. Most Americans were looking to Mueller to tell them what happened, not Nadler. Do you think any fair-minded American believes that Nadler's out to get the truth? He's already convicted the president in his own mind. This is all about impeachment. If they impeach the president over the Mueller report, Trump will get reelected, will take the House and the Senate.
You were in the impeachment management team.
Yeah, I've been there, done that. Listen to me.
I remember those days. And
that's how we met.
And that's right. And Lindsey, now 90 Democrats in the House have signed on to impeachment. One Republican, Justin Amash.
Well, here's their problem. If they don't sign on for impeachment, they may get a primary. There are 31 Democrats that hold seats where President Trump won their district. If they vote against AOC in that crowd, they get a primary. If they vote for impeachment, they'll lose their job. So I really do believe impeachment would be bad for the country, but get President reelected.
All right, we got to talk about this situation at the border. Just because we don't have a headline a day doesn't mean we're not on it. We're on this because everywhere I go, people say, what about this border situation? Secure and Protect Act. I know people say, I don't want to hear about legislation. My eyes glaze over. This could solve the problem. And you're introducing this legislation. Very quickly, what would it do so people understand this and they understand?
It would change our asylum laws that you have to apply for asylum in your home country in Mexico, not the United States. If you bring a small child to America, we're going to have more time to process the case so you don't have to release the family.
20 days.
Yeah,
want to override the Flores decision.
So if you don't want to separate families, you can't do it in 20 days. We're going to increase the time to adjudicate family claims. We're going to require asylum outside the country.
Well, the Democrats, though, they don't want to work, right? They don't want to work with Republicans. They in their own minds, they have successfully opted out of working with the Republicans, except on this outrageous budget, what I'm going to ask you about. But they say, well, Trump's a racist, so we're not going to work with him. He's a racist. He puts kids in cages, blah, 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 blah. You hear the whole thing. Hollywood's has the drumbeat going.
We're on track for 1 million illegal immigrants this year, 52,000 released in the El Paso sector because we didn't have room to hold them. It's just a matter of time till a terrorist gets in this crowd and comes here and hurts us.
We're not screening everybody. We can't. We can't screen everybody coming into the country.
Everybody.
We saw it. I saw it when I was there.
To the Border Patrol agents, they're doing
a great job.
But this system is broken. It's not a crisis. It's a disaster.
And, Lindsey, what is going on with this budget bill? I mean, I've got to say I had to hit the president on this. You know,
that's okay.
$320 billion in increased spending, only, what, $77 billion in offsets?
Yeah, here's his problem. He's got a Democratic House that's not going to offset spending. He's got a military that was broken for 8 years during Obama. He's trying to rebuild it. So
Didn't we spend a huge amount on the military last time? I mean, conservatives are about fiscal conservatism, too, right? And I know we don't have both houses of Congress, but this is just a nightmare.
Well, the number one job of people in the building behind me is to protect the country. During the Obama years, we spent less on defense than any time since World War II. The planes were breaking.
What about the next generations? How are they going to pay for this? Do we care about that anymore?
Fix entitlements. We're not in debt because we're defending the nation. We're in debt because we made promises we can't keep to Medicare, Social Security, and Medicaid. That's why we're in debt.
What does Medicare for All do? That's just going to bankrupt Medicare faster, is it not? I mean,
it will destroy health care, it will destroy the budget. The Green New Deal destroys the economy in the name of saving the environment. But the number one job of this president is to protect the United States from enemies, foreign and domestic.
But he said he would never agree to another cromnibus. He said he would veto it last year. I covered it on the show, and I got to hold everybody accountable here. He said he would veto it. Yeah. He is signing this legislation, and apparently was like Nancy and Chuck, or a couple of people agreed behind closed doors. This was a new day.
If you don't sign it, then the government shuts down, or we do a continuing resolution. And to everybody listening,
speaking of Damocles swords, that's what's
those who are fighting this war deserve better.
Yeah.
Those who've been sacrificing since 9/11, the 1%, deserve a commander-in-chief who have their back. And finally, we got one. I wish we had the House and didn't have to spend so much, but it is what it is. I care more about defending the country. If you want to fix the budget, do entitlement reform, and I hope the president will one day.
Lindsey, I know you were watching that video. We racked it up a couple of times of the police getting doused with big, buckets of water and just walking away in Harlem because we have a mayor, de Blasio, who's a disaster. But the respect for the police, the other side will say, well, the police don't respect African Americans, and they have a gripe. But your reaction to that?
My reaction is that when congresswomen tell the country that we're running concentration camps at the border, that's a slander against those protecting us. When people throw water on cops trying to do their job, it's a disrespect for the law. How does this start? From the top. So this is why I'm glad Trump is taking on the fore, because they're disrespecting those who are risking their lives. Go to this border with me and see if you'd want to do that job for one day. How they do it day in and day out with the crap they get, I don't know. But I've had it. Mr. President, keep defending those who are defending this country. And to our friends in New York, if you don't take care of your cops, shame on you.
And the poor people who are going to call on the cops when they need them, and they're too demoralized to act. Senator Graham, thank you so much for being here tonight.